4 Americans kidnapped by a group of armed men after crossing the border into Mexico.
The FBI is searching for 4 Americans who were kidnapped after crossing the Mexican border. Now the feds say they need help.
Kidnappings in Mexico are on the rise and have become a serious threat to public safety. According to the Support Organization for Victims, there were 625 reported kidnappings in 2021, down from 831 cases the previous year. It is believed that out of the total cases, around 300 to 400 incidents involve Americans who are either dual citizens or green card holders. In 2022 alone, over 1,271 people were kidnapped in Mexico. According to the Washington Post, currently 550 Americans are missing in Mexico. On March 3, 2023, the abduction of 4 Americans in Mexico portrays the recent horrible state in the region and its impact on society. This case of 4 Americans highlights the urgent need for collaboration between the Mexican and U.S. governments to combat drug trafficking and its subtasks. Join us as we delve into the recent happenings surrounding this tragedy and discuss whether cartel activities can ever be completely eradicated in the region. The state of Tamaulipas, a bustling border city and gateway to Mexico, has long been a hub for American visitors seeking adventure, affordable medical treatment, and hangouts with loved ones. For years, spring breakers flocked to Texas's South Padre Island and eagerly crossed the border to enjoy the sparkling nightlife in Matamoros. But the peace and serenity that once characterized this region have been shattered by a surge in violent cartel activity, turning Tamaulipas into a living nightmare. Hold on to your seats as we bring you a shocking incident that has left the world reeling. A video of 4 Americans being kidnapped at gunpoint in broad daylight has surfaced on Twitter. The daring abduction took place in the Mexican border city of Matamoros, Tamaulipas, and was carried out by a group of armed men who seized their targets with clinical precision. The 4 individuals, identified as Latvia Washington McGee, Eric Williams, Shaid Woodard, and Zindel Brown, were traveling in a white minivan with North Carolina license plates when they were ambushed. The video shows the 4 Americans being led into the vehicle by their captors, with one female victim being forced into the cargo bed of a white pickup truck. 2 other victims, seemingly unresponsive, were dragged into the same vehicle, leaving viewers horrified and stunned. A sum of $50,000 was being offered by the FBI as a reward for the safe return of the victims and the capture of the kidnappers. Despite the joint efforts of the U.S. and Mexican authorities, it wasn't until the early hours of Tuesday, March 7, 2023, that the 4 kidnapped Americans were discovered in a house located outside the city of Matamoros. Tragically, the 2 surviving victims had sustained severe injuries, while the other 2 had succumbed to gunshot wounds, as per the reports. The gruesome details surrounding this kidnap have been revealed, and the information obtained from investigating officials, as well as friends and family members of the victims, has shed light on the horrifying events that led to this tragedy. Why the quartet was there in Mexico? The shocking truth is that one of them had booked a tummy tuck cosmetic surgery appointment. Little did they know that this journey would lead to their ultimate demise. As they traveled towards their destination, a van pulled up beside them and opened fire with a barrage of bullets, causing their rented van to careen off the road and crash. 2 of them died instantly, leaving the other 2 with life-threatening injuries. The surviving victims were able to give authorities some insight into the situation, revealing that they had been kidnapped. One of the victims' sisters, Zindel Brown, recounted how the group had booked a hotel in Brownsville, Texas before crossing the border into Mexico. Meanwhile, the mother of one of the victims, Barbara McLeod Burgess, bravely came forward that her daughter was the one who had the cosmetic surgery procedure, having traveled to Mexico years earlier for the same reason. The police were alerted to the kidnapping by Cheryl Orange, who had been with the group at the hotel and reported them missing when they failed to reconvene as planned. Cheryl Orange's report and the viral video on social media prompted a swift response from the US and Mexican authorities. They launched a search for the group who were ambushed while looking for a clinic and abducted by gunmen in a white pickup truck. Upon discovering that the group's van had North Carolina plates, Mexican authorities notified US officials. Mexican and US investigators used various techniques like processing vehicles, obtaining fingerprint and ballistics data, and collecting biological samples to identify the truck used by the gunmen who abducted the Americans. However, the search for the abductees was challenging, as the kidnappers kept moving them to different locations to evade rescue efforts. After an intense search across multiple agencies, the U.S. Attorney General of Police announced their successful rescue on Tuesday morning from a building on the outskirts of Matamoros. The President of Mexico, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, announced the kidnapping incident involving 4 Americans, initially claiming it was a confrontation between rival groups. Later investigations revealed that one of the Americans was there for surgical care, and an individual linked to the abduction is in custody. McGee and Williams are presently under medical treatment in Brownville, Texas, with the latter believed to have suffered 3 gunshot wounds to the leg. They're expected to return to the U.S. after recovery from the injuries. Although the Attorney General in Tamaulipas credits the joint efforts of U.S. and Mexican law enforcement for the discovery of the missing Americans, the exact way by which they were located remains shrouded in mystery. According to Irving Barrios, the lead prosecutor in Tamaulipas, the gun battle at the crime scene was severe enough that the U.S. consulate near the border had to issue an alert, causing residents to seek refuge in their homes. That region of Mexico is marked as a do-not-travel area due to the prevalence of drug cartel violence and kidnappings, and the consulate had previously issued security warnings to residents, as the area had already seen a shooting incident that resulted in the death of a Mexican woman. In response to inquiries about the tragic incident and the fate of the deceased, the spokesperson for the U.S. State Department declined to provide further details, citing an ongoing investigation by the FBI. Speculation surrounding the motive behind the abduction has been rife, with conflicting theories emerging. While some sources suggest that the group was targeted by a Mexican cartel, an American official has revealed that the victims had no criminal record and were seemingly targeted at random. While it seems there's some disagreement about the object behind the abduction, the Attorney General of Tamaulipas, Irving Barrios Morica, has claimed that extortion is the most likely purpose, rather than a direct attack. And the Mexican President, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, has supported this view, saying that some people are making a big deal out of the kidnapping case for political reasons. He's clarified that the investigation needs to be completed before anyone can jump to conclusions about the motive. A news conference revealed some latest information contradicting what the U.S. official said earlier. Apparently, a government-sponsored fact-checking agency has come out to say that the Americans weren't mistaken for Haitian drug traffickers. There's also been a lot of fake news about the whole thing circulating on social media. Some people are saying that the victims were mistaken for immigrants, or that they had some connection to narco-traffickers from Haiti. It's a confusing situation, and the public is eagerly waiting to find out what really happened. A shocking twist has emerged in the ongoing investigation. An individual from the Gulf Cartel's Scorpions faction has allegedly claimed responsibility for the heinous act in a letter obtained by the Associated Press. The letter contained a heartfelt apology to the victims and their families, as the kidnappers had violated the cartel's code of conduct by taking innocent lives. 5 men were also found tied up in a vehicle during the search. This incident has intensified the bilateral efforts of the U.S. and Mexico to combat drug trafficking, with the Gulf Cartel faction being the prime suspect in this case. Despite this, the Mexican president has criticized the Republican-led U.S. efforts to label these cartels as terrorist organizations, citing sovereignty concerns. Sadly, this cycle of violence and rivalry between drug cartels has claimed the lives of innocent Americans and thousands of Mexicans. The tragic fate of these victims is a stark reminder of the atrocities that have plagued Mexico for the past decade, painting a shocking picture of a once vibrant community now consumed by fear and bloodshed. Can these giant nations ever completely eradicate cartel activities? Only time will tell. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found it valuable and informative. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for the latest exciting content. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.